Thank you, Joanne. Pardon for coming in a little late. Houston traffic. I wish traffic problems were the only things we had to deal with. However, as Joanne said, I'm Dale Huls, I'm with the Clear Lake Tea Party. I have been out there in the border in South Texas. I have sat out at night, posted up, observed and reported Border Patrol illegal trespassers coming across private ranch land night after night after night. They avoid the checkpoint. So I've seen it with my eyes. And like Joanne says, we've been down to the border, talked to Border Patrol agents, and found out what the real story is. I stand here today outraged that I'm on this side of the microphone and not out in the audience with you guys. I'm outraged that my Texas government has not yet come up with a plan to address the border crisis. Why is it necessary for the Tea Party and other liberty-minded groups to develop a crisis plan to mitigate the danger and protect Texas from the increases in crime, human trafficking, disease, and economy budget issues brought on by an unsecured border? Why is it we, the citizens of Texas, just regular people from the grassroots, have to develop and put forth an action plan that recognizes the failure of federal policy and enforcement at our Texas border and seeks to address specific remedies for that failure? Surely, it can't be because our elected leaders don't understand the situation. I mean, in their own words, they have called this an emergency situation. Let me provide a couple of examples. Governor Perry said, Texas can't afford to wait for Washington to act on this crisis, and we will not sit idly by while the safety and security of our citizens are threatened. Until the federal government recognizes the danger is putting our citizens in by its inaction to secure the border, Texas law enforcement must do everything they can to keep our citizens and communities safe. Our Lieutenant Governor went on to say, the federal government has abdicated his responsibility to secure the border and protect this country from the consequences of illegal immigration. But as Texans, we know how to lead in areas where Washington has failed. But it goes on. Our Texas Attorney General, Greg Abbott, we've heard that firsthand from people who came here who said to the Border Patrol that the reason why they were coming here was because they thought the president told them that they could come here without any kind of legal consequence. And then finally, we have the Speaker of the Texas House, Joe Straus. In this current security and humanitarian crisis, the federal government's failure to secure our border is resulting in serious consequences for Texas. Obviously, they consider it an emergency, right? I mean, they are spending about $12 million a month on DPS search and deployment of Texas National Guard. But before the media, in front of the cameras, they state that the border crisis is a failure of the federal government. So why don't they take this crisis as seriously as we do in the grassroots? About 6 weeks ago, the grassroots held a press conference right here demanding action from our state leaders regarding the waves of illegal immigrants that were swarming our border. The very next day, Governor Perry announced he was sending 1,000 Texas National Guard to the border. At that time, the grassroots also asked for a special session so that our elected lawmakers in the Texas Legislature could lend their voices and experience to the crisis at hand. Unfortunately, our so-called representatives of the people have rebuffed the special session. They've told us the border is a federal issue. It's not a state issue. They say they have no authority to address illegal immigration, that there's nothing they can do. They say that they're already doing everything they can possibly do, or that they're allowed to do, and what would we, the people, have them do in a special session? We thought our state lawmakers and elected leaders were there to protect and defend the people of Texas. We did not elect them to merely manage education budgets and build roads. We expected leadership. The resistance by members of the Texas Legislature to engage in this crisis in a special session is shocking. These men and women who fought and clawed for their offices now hide behind a shield of ignorance. Why don't they do their damn jobs? Why did the grassroots have to research constitutionally sound ways for Texas to protect its borders, its economy, and its citizens? We have done our work as concerned citizens. The Clear Lake Tea Party hosted a Texas Border Crisis Conference last month to discuss and debate the issues surrounding the current crisis. We had a Texas Ranger sent to us by DPS to talk about the cartels, the transnational gangs, the border security. We had discussions on human trafficking, disease risk, local government and educational budget impacts, and the jihadi threat at our southern border. Where are our state leaders holding their debates and their discussions? Is it at the golf course or an awards dinner? We surely don't see that from our perspective. Maybe they're doing it in private, behind closed doors. I don't know. But the people who are looking for some sort of recognition that we have an issue, a serious problem to take care of, where are they? You do not hear them. Since our grassroots conference, we have seen news reports that ISIS is in Mexico at the border and may even have crossed in the United States, preparing for a strike on America. The CDC has said that the Ebola crisis is bigger and more dangerous than first thought, and containment may not be possible. Finally, it's been reported that the released unaccompanied alien children entering Texas schools will cost the state an additional $78 million. Without mistake, there is a clear and present danger to Texas. Although the federal government is still pursuing an open borders policy, federal immigration judges are setting court dates 4 years from now for these illegal alien children. The feds are running commercials in Mexico asking self-deported illegals to please come back to the United States. It was all a mistake. And California is passing state legislation to give driver's licenses, tuition breaks, etc., to the illegal immigrant population in their state. If something bad happens in our state or America because of our open border, don't just blame the federal government. The purpose of this press conference and the release of the Grassroots Texas Border Crisis Action Plan is to remove the shield of ignorance that our state leaders hide behind. If they have not taken the serious immediate actions that this situation deserves, then they will be just as guilty as the federal government for any catastrophe or tragedy that may occur due to the current border crisis. We hold our leaders accountable for the health, safety, and security for the people of Texas. Make no mistake, that is what we're here about. This plan that we've proposed today is not the be-all, end-all plan. It is merely to get it started. We have not even seen the very rudimentary beginnings of a plan. Everything that Texas has done, that the governor and speaker and lieutenant governor have done, has been in a reactionary mode. When are they going to be proactive and begin to take care of Texas the way they should, the way we elected them for, and to honor their oaths? With that, I'm going to turn